Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me for today's show is Jay Huseman. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Thank you, Sharon. I'm not just here for the music. I am also here excited about racing, but that music helps build it.
It does indeed. Okay, we're here for that Las Vegas preview for the NASCAR Cup Series, the Pennzoil 400 presented by Jiffy Lube at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a 1.5-mile asphalt oval that races Sunday, March the 15th at 4 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1 starting at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Radio coverage on PRN and SiriusXM Channel 90. They'll race a distance of 400.5 miles over 267 laps. Stage 1 is 80 laps ending on lap 80. Stage 2, 85 laps ending on lap 165. And then the final stage is 102 laps ending on lap 267. And when we talk about Las Vegas is calling and the stakes are getting higher in the desert. This weekend, the stars of the NASCAR Cup Series roll into the fast, unpredictable mile-and-a-half Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a track where speed, strategy, and long-run performance separate the contenders from the pretenders. Vegas is the first real test of the intermediate track package this season, Jay. It's where the championship trends often begin to take shape. So who has the speed to dominate the desert? Which teams will hit the setup sweet spot? And who will surprise everybody when the green flag drops? We're breaking down the contenders, the key storylines, and the drivers to watch. This is your Fan for Racing Radio Las Vegas preview for the NASCAR Cup Series. So let's go ahead and get started, Jay.
All right. Well, with that, we'll talk about it. The 36 entries are your 36 chartered teams, which are your contenders or pretenders, could be one or the other. The only change we got to announce, and it's unfortunate, is Alex Bowman will be out at least one more week. Hendrick Motorsports released a statement this morning. It will be Justin Allgaier filling in for Alex Bowman as he's still working through the vertigo issues. Nothing else has been announced beyond that, but it will be Justin Allgaier this weekend in Ally number 48 for HMS.
And just like last week, it's unfortunate that Alex Bowman is going through this, but it's an opportunity for Justin Allgaier. So it'll be fun to see what he does this week. So let's go ahead and get into our notes here for the Cup Series. This is the fifth race of the season. Las Vegas, some characteristics in recent history. Josh Berry actually won this race last year, the only first-time winner at Cup in 35 races at Las Vegas. So that's pretty incredible. There was a track record 32 lead changes in this race last year. 7 of the last 9 Las Vegas races had a margin of victory of less than 1 second. I love those kind of races. The pass for the win came in the final 6 laps in the 5 of the last 8 Las Vegas races, and 11 of the last 12 Vegas races were won from the top 10 starting spot. Now, the final green flag stretch was less than 14 laps in only 2 of the last 11 Las Vegas races, and drivers that finished top 3 at Vegas last season took 4 tires on every pit stop. Last week, we said that last pit stop was a 2-tire pit strategy that worked for the winner, and it certainly did play out that way last week at Phoenix. So keep that in mind. 4 tires on every pit stop.
And I don't know if we can give you anything more to get you more excited about this weekend at Las Vegas, but we will give you some more information as we look at starting with stage performance patterns. The Stage 1 winner at Las Vegas has gone on to win the race 6 times, which is the most of all tracks. Stage 2 winner has gone on to win 10 of the 17 races at Las Vegas with stages. Again, remember, that's relatively new, which is also, though, the most of all tracks. And the winner of Las Vegas has swept stages 1 and 2 5 times, which is the most of any track.
Yeah, I like that stat, because most of the tracks we look at, they tell us the stage winner does not go on to win. So here they do.
It is. So keep an eye on that as the race progresses. And when we look at team and manufacturer trends, Denny Hamlin in September 21, October 2025 is the only Toyota driver to win at Las Vegas in the last 12 races. Well, who does that leave? Hendrick Motorsports. Those drivers have won 10 of the last 16 stages at Las Vegas in this next-gen car. No other team has won more than 2. So we're already looking heavily at who our contenders are. HMS drivers won 5 of the last 10 Vegas races with 3 different drivers. Kyle Larson with 3, Alex Bowman with 1, and William Byron with 1.
Wow, right there are some of your contenders for this track. These are the last 11 drivers who led the most laps at Las Vegas and how they finished. So going back to 2020 with Denny Hamlin, you see that he led the most laps at 120 laps led, but his finishing position came in at 3rd. In 21, in both the spring and the fall race, it was Kyle Larson in the spring race, Denny Hamlin in the fall race. Denny Hamlin had the most laps led at 137, Kyle Larson at 103, but they both won their races. So that's kind of interesting. In 22, Ross Chastain won both of those races. He led 83 laps in the first race, 68 in the second race. He finished 3rd in the spring race and 2nd in the fall race. Then we go to 2023. You had William Byron and Kyle Larson winning those races, and they both won their races. William Byron led 176 laps, Kyle Larson 133. Then we move into 2024. You've got Kyle Larson winning the spring race, Christopher Bell having the most laps led in the fall race. But yes, Kyle Larson led 181 laps and won that race. Christopher Bell, 155 laps, came in 2nd in the fall race. And then in 2025, it was a sweep for Kyle Larson. He led the most laps in both of those races, 61 in the spring race, 129 in the fall race, but he finished 9th in that spring race and 2nd in the fall race.
So with that, as you can see, being up front, and what I see there, top 3 finishes with the exception of that 1 9th place finish by Kyle Larson. If you're leading the most laps, you're looking at a guaranteed top 3 finish. So keep an eye on who's out front throughout this Las Vegas race.
Okay, and speaking of Kyle Larson, let's talk about his Las Vegas mastery. He leads all drivers at Las Vegas with 819 laps led. He has 8 stage wins. His average finish comes in at 9.0. That's the best of all drivers with more than 4 starts. Also, 793 laps led in his 10 races at Las Vegas with Hendrick are enough to rank 1st in laps led at the track. He finished top 2 in 6 of his 10 Las Vegas starts in that number 5 car, including 3 wins. His first of 26 wins with Hendrick Motorsports came at Las Vegas in March of 2021. And he's won 6 of the last 10 stages at Las Vegas. So he's definitely a contender.
He's certainly going to be, and we'll break down his 1.5 mile track dominance. Kyle Larson has 16 stage wins on 1.5 mile tracks in this next gen car. No other driver has more than 8. And he has 1,780 laps led on the 1.5s in the next gen car. And that's more than double the next closest driver, which is teammate William Byron at 886. He's led in 20 of the last 21 races on 1.5 miles, and that dates back to Miami Homestead in October of 2022. He's a top-rated car on speed in both Las Vegas races last season and was the top-rated car on speed in 4 of the last 9 races on what we call the intermediate tracks in 2025. And on the right side here, it says laps led by track since joining Hendrick Motorsports. So again, now we're looking at his HMS history. Bristol is the very top at 1,121 laps led. Las Vegas at 793 comes in second. He's also got 761 at Kansas. Then we go down to 550 at Darlington and 541 at Texas. Texas, another one of those 1.5 mile intermediates.
Insights at Las Vegas in 2025. So we'll take a look at the last year, that how everybody ranks in speed, long run, passing, defense, and restarts. I'll let you read the bottom 5, but I'll give you the top 5 in each of those categories. In speed, it's Larson, Byron, Reddick, Bowman, and Logano, top 5. In long runs, speed, you've got Larson, Byron, Blaney, Bowman, and Logano. And passing, it's Reddick, Larson, Byron, Priest, and Bowman. On the defense side, you've got William Byron at the top, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, and Ryan Priest, your top 5. And on restarts, it's Larson, Byron, Chastain, Wallace, and Gregson are your top 5 in that category. So a lot of repeats in the names there, Jay.
Yeah, again, that's your defining of the contenders for sure here. And we've been talking about HMS. But when we look at the best average finish at Las Vegas all time, requires a minimum of 4 starts. And I think everybody's got that well covered. But Kyle Larson is the best. Average finish 9.0 over 19 starts. And Joey Logano, a couple more starts at 25, is at 9.60. Martin Truex, no longer active, but had the 26 starts, 9.69. Only 3 in single digits. Then you got Kyle Busch at 11.93 over 29 starts, and that is your highest as far as starts. Jeff Burton had 17 starts. That was a good track for him, 12.18. Jimmy Johnson at a 12.3 over 23 starts. Denny Hamlin, 12.36 over 28 starts. He's still active, so his numbers will go up there. And well as Brad Keselowski at 12.48, 25 starts. Carl Edwards only had 12 starts there, but came in at 12.67. And Matt Kenseth, another one that has retired, 12.95 over 19 starts. Tight statistics there. Again, 3 in the top 3, or 3 in single digits, 2 of which are active, but all those others right there at 11 to 12 in their average finish. That's tight racing.
That's pretty tight, is right. Let's talk about the most laps led. And this is ever. You've got Kyle Larson at the top with 819. We've mentioned that already. But second behind him is Kevin Harvick at 679. Jimmy Johnson at 595. Logano at 585. Matt Kenseth, 526. Tony Stewart, 482. Jeff Gordon, 457. Denny Hamlin, 421. Brad Keselowski at 361. And William Byron at 337. Some interesting stats there, Jay.
Well, and what I see there is of a lot of the retired drivers, only a couple active, which means they're dominant. So we're going to continue on that of looking at who then is gobbling up all those numbers right now. On the 1.5 mile track trends, this weekend's race is the first of 9 races in 2026 on what we call the traditional 1.5 mile tracks. Now that excludes Atlanta, which has kind of become a super speedway style, but that is the most in a season since we had 9 in 2021. The race winner has led less than 25 laps in 6 of the last 7 races on the 1.5 miles there in 2025. And the pass for the win came in the final 7 laps in 7 of the last 9 races, including 2 last lap passes. It's Joe Gibbs Racing drivers that have won the pole for the last 3 races, Briscoe with 2 and Denny Hamlin with 1. And then 2311 and Team Penske are the only teams with at least 1 car finishing in the top 10 in each of the 4 races this season. So we'll look to see how they maintain that this weekend. Yes. And lastly, Hendrick Motorsports. They had the top-rated car on speed in 6 of the last 9 races on intermediates in 2025. A lot of that had to do with Kyle Larson.
Now, driver performances on the 1.5-mile tracks. Joe Gibbs Racing drivers have won the pole for the last 3 races on 1.5-mile tracks. Again, Briscoe with 2, Hamlin with 1. Drivers that finished top 3 at Vegas last season took 4 tires on every pit stop. We've talked about that. And then Hendrick Motorsports had the top-rated car on speed in 6 of the 9 races on intermediate tracks last year. So we'll see if those trends continue.
And we're going to put a focus on this next-gen car because this is one of the things where the 1.5-mile racing really has come on as of late in this next-gen car. And it goes back to Kyle Larson, 6 wins. But Tyler Reddick, Joey Logano, and Denny Hamlin each have 3. Then you got Christopher Bell, William Byron, Ross Chastain, and Chase Elliott with 2 apiece, and 5 other drivers with 1 each.
1.5-mile track wins by team in the next-gen car. Hendrick Motorsports at the top of that list with 11. Then you go to Joe Gibbs Racing with 5. 2311 Racing and Team Penske both have 4. Trackhouse Racing with 2. And then Richard Childress Racing and Wood Brothers Racing with 1 apiece.
When we look at the comp tracks, comparable tracks in 2025, and this again breaks it down into speed, long run, passing, defense, and restarts. Now I'm going to do like Sharon did. I'll read you the top 5. You can see the chart as she's got it up there if you want to see who the other 5 are in each category. You're going to see a lot of the same names, though. Speed, Kyle Larson, then Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, William Byron. On the long run, shuffle it up a little bit. That's Ryan Blaney's category, followed by Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, and Chase Elliott. The passing, though, that goes to Tyler Reddick. Then is Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Ryan Preece, and Chase Elliott. On the defensive side, no surprise there, Joey Logano. But you also got Kyle Larson there, followed by Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, another one likes to be on the defense, and Tyler Reddick. Under restarts, and this is a key one, Ross Chastain at the top, William Byron, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson, and Bubba Wallace. And we saw that up earlier. Ross Chastain and Bubba Wallace are 2 key on restarts. That's a big factor when it comes to these late race restarts.
2025's 1.5-mile track winners. And this is this includes all the 1.5-mile tracks. So let's start in March of 2025. Josh Berry won at Las Vegas for Wood Brothers Racing, Kyle Larson at Homestead for Hendrick Motorsports. In May, it was at Texas and at Kansas. Joey Logano won the Texas race for Team Penske, Kyle Larson the Kansas race for Hendrick Motorsports. And then you go to Charlotte and Kansas for Ross Chastain at Charlotte for Trackhouse Racing, and Chase Elliott at Kansas for Hendrick Motorsports. Then in October of 25, it was at Las Vegas, and it was Denny Hamlin for Joe Gibbs Racing.
And remember, the second Charlotte race is going from the oval back to the 1.5, and that's where we talked about this next-gen car providing good racing. They've opted to go back to the 1.5-mile oval in the fall race, and that increases that number of why we're up to 9 1.5-mile tracks. And when we look at the best average finish on these tracks in the next gen car and only looking at active drivers, William Byron, best average finish 9.82, has 2 victories. Kyle Larson leads in victories with 6, average finish of 11.2. Right behind him, 11.36 for Christopher Bell with 2 wins. Chastain with his 2 at 11.93. Hamlin has 3 wins, a little bit higher average, though. He's into the 12s, 12.32. And then Tyler Reddick, 3 wins, 13.75. And right now, he is shredding all statistics with what he's done to start this season. Alex Bowman has 1 win at 13.84 average. And Joey Logano, 3 wins, average finish, though, at the bottom there of 14.0.
All right. Laps led on the 1.5-mile tracks in the next-gen car. Kyle Larson at the top of that list at 1780. Behind him is William Byron at 886. Christopher Bell, 665. Denny Hamlin at 627. Ryan Blaney at 497. Ross Chastain at 475. And Tyler Reddick at 471. Kyle Larson dominates there.
Yeah, he's been dominating a couple of these categories for sure. Now, when we look at the top 10 streaks on a 1.5-mile tracks, and this is currently active for each driver, Christopher Bell on the best of 5. Then it's Chase Briscoe with 4. Brad Keselowski comes in third with 3. Then you got Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, and Tyler Reddick with 2 each.
And 1.5-mile track winners all time, Jimmy Johnson at the top of the list with 28. Next closest is his buddy, Jeff Gordon at 17, along with Kevin Harvick at 17. Then Kyle Busch at 16, Tony Stewart 15, Denny Hamlin 15, and then the last 2 are at 14, Dale Earnhardt and Brad Keselowski.
And this is one of those categories, hate to bring it up, but we got most starts on a 1.5-mile track without a win, looking at active drivers. Michael McDowell at the top, 150 starts, best finish is 6. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has come closer as a best finish of 3rd, over 128 starts. Same thing, almost identical. AJ Allmendinger, 1 less start at 127, but a best finish of 3rd. Chris Buescher got a best finish of 2nd over 93 starts. Eric Jones, 82 starts, best finish of 3rd 4 times. And then Daniel Suarez, another one, so close. 2nd is his best finish over 81 starts. And again, Atlanta got taken out of this category. Otherwise, Daniel Suarez would have one. Ty Dillon, 76 starts, best finish of 10th. And Ryan Preece, 55 starts, best finish of 3rd. And I'll tell you what, there are several of those I think could break that this weekend.
Yeah, I do think you're right. It's going to be, that's what makes it fun to watch, Jay.
It does. You never know what'll happen.
Now, Ryan Blaney, last week's race winner, had struggles on the 1.5-mile tracks last year at Las Vegas. In March, he finished 35th. He lost 2 laps due to a slow pit stop on lap 30, crashed out on lap 195. At Miami in March, he finished 36th. After he led 124 laps, he was running 3rd when he lost an engine on lap 207. At Texas in May, he finished 3rd. He overcame a pit road speeding penalty on lap 22. Then at Kansas in May, he finished 3rd. He ran in the top 10 all race and moved from 7th to 3rd after the final restart. Then at Charlotte in May, he finished 38th. He was trapped 1 lap down after pitting just before the lap 42 caution, and he crashed at lap 245. Then at Kansas in September, he finished 24th. He started at the rear after a practice crash and suffered a pit road speeding penalty at lap 255. Then at Las Vegas in October, he finished 38th. He crashed out from 12th at lap 72. So some big struggles for Ryan Blaney at all these different 1.5 mile tracks.
And if we look at just his last 3 Las Vegas races, you kind of highlighted the 2 from last year. But going back to October of 24, he finished 32nd, started in a backup car after the practice crash, and then was collected in a lap 90 crash and spun coming to pit road, losing multiple laps making repairs. In the spring of last year, again started at the rear after crashing in practice, then had a lengthy pit stop under green before that first caution and lost a couple of laps. Got the free pass on lap 109 to return to the lead lap, charged his way back to the top 10, but was eliminated in the lap 195 crash. And in the fall, he was running 12th when he cut a tire from the front on the left front tire and crashed out on lap 72. And we documented of last year too. One of them was an engine problem. We saw several of those from him last year.
Yes, and that's unfortunate because Ryan Blaney is such a good driver. It's unfortunate that those 1.5 mile tracks give him some trouble. Chase Briscoe is another driver to keep your eye on this weekend. He has had some struggles. He earned 2 points or less in 3 or 4 races so far this season. So he's 33rd in the points, 178 points out of the lead and 78 points out of the top 16. Chase Briscoe finished last in the last 2 races. He was the only driver not running at the finish at COTA. So, gosh, I know he wants to turn that ship around for sure.
Yeah, and he's going to be the one to watch to see, and this is if he can start picking up some wins, but how deep can you be and climb back into contention? Now, when we look at his last 6 races on 1.5 mile tracks versus his career prior to that, in the last 6 starts, we're comparing the last 6 starts versus prior to that, he had 31. No wins in either category. But in the last 6, he had 5 top 5s, whereas he only had 3 in the 31 races prior to that. Top 10s is 5 each, but that's 5 out of 6 versus 5 out of 31. His average start, 10 positions better, 8.17 in the last 6, 18.61 prior. And same thing for his average finish there. It's a 12 position gap. Average finish went from 19.35 down to 7.67. Laps led, big category there. 9 laps led in the 31 prior races, 77 in the last 6. And that also begins with starting up front. He's got 2 poles in these last 6 and didn't have any prior to that.
Amazing. Okay, stage wins on the intermediate tracks last year. Cal Larson had 5 stage wins. He leads the list. William Byron with 4, Denny Hamlin with 3, Austin Cindric 2, and Ryan Blaney with 1. I felt like I was doing a countdown there, Jay.
Right. Those did go in order. Now, it's again a little early, but we do got to already start looking at the 2026 championship picture for the season. Following the Phoenix 3, Joe Gibbs race drivers moved into chase position. Bell, Gibbs, and Hamlin, and they replaced Zane Smith, Daniel Suarez, and Ryan Preece. Now, 3 of the 2025 playoff drivers don't have a top 10 finish yet in 2026. Austin Dillon, Austin Cindric, and Alex Bowman.
All right, that's pretty interesting. Teams currently in the chase position after Phoenix. Okay, Hendrick cars before, he was at 3. Cars after, he maintained it at 3. Spire had 3 in before, but only 2 afterward, as did RFK Racing. And 2311 had 2 before and 2 after. Then we go down to Team Penske with 2 before and 2 after. Trackhouse Racing, Front Row Motorsports, and Colleague Racing all had 1 before. Then afterward, it was 1 for Trackhouse, 0 for Front Row, and 1 for Colleague. And then Gibbs, no cars before and 3 cars after. So some interesting stats there.
Well, and we knew that. Talk about the cream rising to the top. And as somebody comes in, somebody's got to go out.
Yep.
And when I talked about the 2025 playoff drivers outside the playoff, chase position now, Ross Chastain, he's going to need to do some climbing. He's currently in 23rd, 26 behind that cut line of 16th. Austin Dillon's even deeper, 29th rank, minus 44. Austin Cindric mentioned 30th is minus 48. Josh Berry at 31st is minus 50. Chase Briscoe, 33rd points position, minus 53 to the cut line. Can be overcome, but he's going to have some work to do. And then Alex Bowman, we mentioned he is going to miss yet another race. I know they have applied for the Chase waiver. I haven't heard that that's been approved yet or not, but he is currently 36 in points, minus 77 points. And we mentioned the three drivers there without the top 10. Austin Dillon's best finish is 16th. Alex Bowman, Dillon's came at Phoenix. Alex Bowman, 23rd at Atlanta. Austin Cindric's best was also at Atlanta of 26.
That makes me so sad.
Yeah, it's tough way to start the season.
It is. Okay, now the most points gained at Phoenix, Christopher Bell had 24th after Coda. He was 6th after Phoenix, so that was a net gain of 18. Denny Hamlin, 23rd after Coda, but 12th after Phoenix. He gained 11 points. Eric Jones, 35th after Coda, 28th after Phoenix. He had a gain of 7. Then Austin Dillon, 34th after Coda, 29th after Phoenix, with a net gain of 5. And Kyle Larson had a 15th after Coda and 10th after Atlanta for a plus 5. And Todd Gilliland, 30th after Coda, 26th after Atlanta, and that is a gain of 4.
And the big thing here is it's still early in the season. I don't think you see that big of jumps as we get later into the season, especially as you get closer to the top. There it takes a week or two to gain 1 or 2 position. Now, man, Sharon, you kill me. You got to do the positive. I get to do the negative again. But as people move up, we talked about ones having to move back. Points position lost at Phoenix. Daniel Suarez was 7th after Coda, 17th after Phoenix, and he lost 10 positions. Noah Gragson went from 18th to 25th, which was a loss of 7. Chase Briscoe, wouldn't have thought you could get worse, but it did. He was 27th after, 27th after Coda, 33rd after Phoenix, so he lost 6 more. Custer also lost 6, moving from 29th to 35th. AJ Allmendinger went from 8th to 13th, losing 5. And Zane Smith, we mentioned, lost 5 as he got shuffled out of Chase position. He was 14th and then 19th after Phoenix.
Okay, the 26 season performance trends. There have been 7 different stage winners in 26. Only Bubba Wallace has won multiple at 2. Ryan Blaney became the first stage winner to win in 26. That was at Phoenix. He did win that first stage and ended up winning the race. Toyota led more laps in 26, 512, than Chevrolet and Ford combined at 366. 25 of the 35 drivers to run all 4 races have at least one top 10 finish. And 10 full-time drivers had their best finish of the season at Phoenix. Eric Jones finished 10th at Phoenix, ending a 12-race streak without a top 10 finish. Stage 1 was caution-free in the last 3 races of this year. And 3 drivers have won more than one top 5 finish in 2026. Tyler Reddick with 3 all wins, Ty Gibbs with 2, and Christopher Bell with 2. And Bubba Wallace's average finish of 8.8 this season ranks second to his teammate, Tyler Reddick, at 2.75. Tyler Reddick with 3, Ryan Blaney with 2, combined won the last 5 races dating back to last year. And 2311 and Team Penske are the only teams with at least one car finishing top 10 in each of the 4 races this season. Then Michael McDowell has 2 top 10 finishes this year, a 5th at Coda and a 9th at Phoenix. And his second top 10 finish of 25 came in race number 16 at Mexico City.
And that's that organizational thing I like to look at. Spire Motorsports definitely showing a strong start to the season, but we talked about got to maintain and be consistent throughout the year. What I like to see so far here this year, the most lead changes through the first 4 races in a season. 2026 is at the top, 159, and 142 was last year in 2025. Then you got to go back to 2011 and 2010, 140 and 127. And then it's all the way back to 1983 when we saw 124. So I like that competitiveness and action up front.
That's always fun. Okay, now most laps led this season. Christopher Bell at the top of the list at 194. Tyler Reddick at 112. Joey Logano 108. These rest of these drivers are below 100. Bubba Wallace at 86. Chase Briscoe at 58. Kyle Larson 55. Then it's Ryan Blaney at 47 and Austin Cindric at 26.
Those are some interesting names. I would not have put Bell at the top. I would have had Reddick at the top, obviously, with the 3 wins. But that's the wins, not out front leading. I know Bell's been very good and up front. So when you total those up and look at them to the organization, it is Joe Gibbs Racing, total at 287, 2311. Right behind them there, 206. Then it's Team Penske at 181. This is surprising. Hendrick Motorsports all the way down at 70. And Trackhouse Racing, the top 5 with 22.
And manufacturer performance this season, Chevrolet at the top of the list here for starts at 74 compared to Ford at 41 and Toyota at 38. Wins, they don't have any wins yet. Ford's got 1 win, but Toyota leads them all with those 3 wins by Tyler Reddick. Top 5s, you've got Toyota in the lead here as well with 9, Chevrolet with 8, and then Ford comes in with 3. Top 10s, Toyota at the top of the list with 16. Then it's 14 for Chevrolet and 10 for Ford. Laps led, wow. Toyota 512. Then it goes down to Ford at 223 and Chevrolet at 143.
And I'm not making excuses for Chevrolet, but I know they got a little bit of a body change again. So that may have something to do with it. And I think HMS especially, though, will figure it out. And we're seeing that to begin to start to happen. But Toyota been on point so far. And we'll take a look at that of best average running position for 2026. And this is absolutely amazing. Average running position for Tyler Reddick, 8.43, but his average finish, 2.75. Again, won those first 3 races of the season. And Bell is second there, 10.08 for running position. Finish, though, 15.25. Then you got Ryan Blaney, consistent. Look at that. 10.09 running, 11.5 for the finish. This is a good trend. Bubba Wallace, 11.04 for running, but a better finish at 8.75. Joey Logano's on the flip side. Running position, 11.28, but a 16.75 finish. William Byron, 11.64, goes up to a finish of 15.0. Denny Hamlin, kind of that same trend, 11.96 running, but a 14.75 finish. Larson, another one very consistent Average running position, 13.85. Not even a full position of 14.25 to the finish. Same with Chris Buescher, 14.68 to a 15.0 finish. And Chase Elliott doing that good things. Running position of 14.94, but finishes better at 11.25. Definitely want to be on that trend of finish better than you're running.
Yes. The most stage points through 4 races, including the dual points, Ryan Blaney tops the list at 44, and he is second in the point standings. Third in the point standings is Bubba Wallace with a stage points catch of 40. Joey Logano is 7th in the point standings. He's got 31 stage points, as does Tyler Reddick, who is 1st in the point standings. Then it goes to Austin Cindric with 29, and he's ranked 30th. Carson Hocevar with 27, and he is ranked 14th. Then Chase Elliott at 25, as is Christopher Bell. Chase Elliott is 4th in the points, though Christopher Bell is 6th.
And that's where you talk about Austin Cindric of 29 stage points, means he's running up front, just not getting the finishes, and he's buried in points. Another driver, we'll have to see how far up he can climb in the next races. Now, Sharon mentioned drivers getting their best finish at Phoenix for 2026. Ryan Blaney obviously getting the win. That is a best of the year for him. His previous was 8th at COTA. Christopher Bell finished 2nd. Didn't up his best by much because he was 3rd at COTA. Kyle Larson right there with him, a 3rd place finish at Phoenix. Had a 6th place at COTA. Ty Gibbs tied it. He was 4th at COTA as well as at Phoenix. Denny Hamlin went from top 10 to top 5. 5th at Phoenix, 10th at COTA. Bubba Wallace been so solid this year. 6th at Phoenix, beat out his 8th at Atlanta. William Byron, 7th at Phoenix, was 12th at Daytona. Eric Jones mentioned that, got into the top 10. He made a good jump because his previous was 21st at Daytona. And right there with him, Todd Gillen, 12th place finish at Phoenix. Best prior was 21st at COTA. And then Austin Dillon right there in the teens, 16th at Phoenix, 19th from COTA, his previous best.
All right. Tyler Reddick has had an historic start to 2026. He can join Bill Elliott from 1992 as the only drivers to win 4 of the season's first 5 races. So he missed out at Phoenix, but he could come back with another victory at Las Vegas. He's also the only driver to finish top 10 in all 4 races so far this season. He had only 4 top 10 finishes through the first 13 races in all of 2025. His average finish of 2.75 is the best through 4 races in a season since Kevin Harvick had a 1.5 in 2015 after only 4 races. Also, he finished where he started in each of the last 3 races. He won from first and Atlanta and COTA and started and finished 8th at Phoenix.
And when we look at that, the best average finish for 2026 amongst drivers of the 4 races, that 2.75 I thought was impressive. Going back to Harvick's 1.5, that's unbelievable, actually.
Yes.
But Bubba Wallace, again, I've mentioned, a very solid start to the season, 8.75. Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney in the 11s, 11.25 for Elliott, 11.5 for Blaney. This one is impressive over a variety of courses. Shane Van Gisbergen at 12.25. Michael McDowell, good start to the season at 14.0. Brad Keselowski, of certainly after last year's start, 14.25. Kyle Larson, to me, this is a little bit down, but still solid at 14.25. Then on the right side, this is the drivers to finish on the lead lap in all 4 races. Tyler Reddick, again, best finishes first on the lead lap at Daytona, Atlanta, and COTA for all of those. Chase Elliott, best finish of 4th was at Daytona. Hocevar's 4th place was Atlanta. Brad Keselowski and Michael McDowell of 5th. Brad's came at Daytona. Michael's at Coda. Bubba Wallace's 6th was at Phoenix this past weekend. Chris Buescher's 7th was at Daytona. AJ Allmendinger's 9th was at Coda, whereas Ryan Preece's 9th was at Atlanta.
All right. Now, Team Penske's had a kind of a rough start. Their average finish of 19.9 is the worst as a 3-car team through the first 4 races since 2010, when it was at 24.4. Joey Logano ranks 3rd in laps led this season at 108, but he only has 1 finish better than 15th, and that's a 3rd that he had in the Daytona 500. Really surprising stats there for Team Penske. You just don't expect that. And I think the driver that's really pulling that down is Austin Cindric.
Without a doubt, and again, his season has been just dismal to start. And you go back to 2010 for that 24.4, and they did have a win. In 04, it was 20.3. They didn't have a win. This year, so far, 19.9. Do have that victory now with Ryan Blaney from Phoenix. And then in 2009, about the same. They're 19.5 with 1 win. Again, one driver, in this case, it's Austin Cindric, can't catch a break to save his life.
Yeah, he's really had it rough. And we know he's a good driver. He's just having a rough start. Now, Team Penske drivers' worst average finish through 4 races. Jeremy Mayfield in 2001 at 31.8. Austin Cindric not far behind that this year at 31.5. Then you've got Sam Hornish in 2008 at 31 even. Brad Keselowski in 2010 at 29.8. And Travis Kavapel, not Carson, but his dad, Travis, at 2005 at 27.8. And full-time Team Penske drivers without a top 20 finish through 4 races. In 2010, it was Brad Keselowski. His best finish was a 21st, race number 5 at Bristol. And Austin Cindric, my gosh, his best finish this season so far has been a 26th. And we'll see when he gets that first top 20 finish. But he's definitely the driver that's pulling their stats down this season.
And I would say we'll highlight that difficult season, but it would be a low light, if you will, because he does rank 30th in points. Again, that best finish at 26 came at Atlanta, and that's his most points earned in a race this season is 21, which came at Atlanta. And you talk about drivers in all 4 races in 2026 without a top 20. The only other one besides Cindric is Cole Custer, but he has a little bit better finish of 22nd at Atlanta.
Okay, now Richard Childress Racing has also had their struggles. They have yet to finish in the top 10 in a race this season, and both full-time drivers are 20th or worse in the points. Who would have ever thought that? Kyle Busch is in 20th and Austin Dillon 29th. Richard Childress Racing is the only multi-car team without a top 10 finish this year. Joe Gibbs Racing drivers, their worst average finish through 4 races. Bobby Labonte in 2005 came in at 33.5. Jason Leffler in 2005 at 30 even. Chase Briscoe in 2026, man, I hate to see that, 28 even, as is Joey Logano in 2009 was at 28 even. And Ty Gibbs last year came in at 26.8. Some names you wouldn't expect to see on that list.
Especially not, 1 or 2 races, again, take Daytona, but 4 races in, that's a pretty tough trend to shake off then, but they're going to need to start because this is where we're talking about getting into the meat of the season. Now, I do get to go with the positive here. Significant performance change from 2025 to 26, and this would have been my biggest highlight for sure. Brad Keselowski, 2026 average finish, 14.3. Last year, it was 28.3. That's a differential of plus 14. Mentioned Bubba Wallace having the good year, 8.8 this year. He was 21.8 last year. That's a plus 13. AJ Allmendinger is up 12 from last year. It was 26.8. This year, 14.8. And it mentioned Shane Van Gisbergen. Last year, 23.3, which wasn't bad, but at a 12.3 this year, he's up 11. Sharon just mentioned Ty Gibbs. I didn't realize how bad he had started last year. 26.8 over those 4 races. 17.0 this year gives him a plus 9.8. Couple of drivers at 8 plus 8.2. Ryan Preece going from 24.5, dropping down to 16.3. And Tyler Reddick dropping a bunch. Really is only eight positions, but it's a good 8. He went from 11th last year to 2.8 this year. That's tough to do when you're talking about that close to the front, honestly.
It is. That's fantastic. Well, let's look at the biggest declines through 4 races, 25 to 26. Alex Bowman at the top of that list for obvious reasons. He last year was at 12.0. This year, 33 even. That's a down 21 points. Austin Cindric last year was at 20.0. This year, 31.5. He's down 11.5. Chase Briscoe at 18.5 and 25 is now at 28 even, down 9.5 points. John Hunter Nemechek, 12.8 last year compared to 21.8 this year. He's down 9 points. Todd Gilliland was at 17.3 last year. This year, he's at 24.3. He's down 7. Christopher Bell at 8.5 last year, down 15.3 this season. He's down 6.8 points. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. at 15.5 in 2025, now at 22.0. He's down 6.5.
I actually kind of thought Chase Briscoe's would have been a bigger gap there, but I guess he didn't have that strongest start last year. He finished strong, but didn't have that good a start either. Yeah. I didn't realize that. Now, when we look at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, some historical statistics, we're going to look at the best average finish in the next gen car. And that goes to Martin Truex Jr. with a 7.33. Didn't have any wins, but has the best average finish. Chastain doesn't have any wins either, but a 7.63. Kyle Larson with 2 wins comes in with the 3rd best average finish at 7.88. Then you get into double digits. William Byron at a 10.0, but does have a victory, as does Alex Bowman with a 10.86 average finish. And Joey Logano, 2 wins and an 11.75 average finish. Best of both categories, if you will. I know he's not at the top of the list, but at least up there in both categories.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, most laps led at Las Vegas in the next-gen car. You got Kyle Larson at the top of the list, 595. William Byron at 266. Christopher Bell at 248. The drivers in the hundreds are Ross Chastain at 167 and Daniel Suarez at 115. Then we go below 100, and that's Denny Hamlin at 98. He's knocking on the door. And Joey Logano at 90.
And we kind of already hinted or looked at this a little bit, but when we talk about stage wins as an organization, Hendrick Motorsports dominating with 15, down to Team Penske with 6. Joe Gibbs Racing has 4 of their own. Furniture Row had 3, as did Stuart Haas Racing. 2311 Racing already getting their name up there with 2, and Trackhouse Racing with 1. And when we look at drivers with their first 2 Cup wins on 1.5-mile tracks, Buddy Baker did it in Charlotte in 1967 and 68. And then Kevin Harvick at Atlanta and Chicagoland in 2001. And David Rudiman at Charlotte and Chicagoland. The Charlotte race was in 09 and then Chicagoland in 2010.
All right, Las Vegas, I think this ends it for us.
That does. That was an odd transition there. But yeah, that's the weather info, which should be good. All right, okay. Looks like we wrapped it up.
Okay, so Jay, who's your race winner pick for this week?
You know, I am going to actually steer clear of the low-hanging fruit of Hendrick Motorsports. I'm going to go with Christopher Bell with Joe Gibbs Racing. I know he was the previous 2-year winner at Phoenix, didn't quite get it done. So I think he comes back with a vengeance at Vegas.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Of the Hendrick Motorsports drivers, which one of them had the best average finish, Jay? Do you remember?
I think it was pretty much leaned on Kyle Larson, although William Byron wasn't that far off either.
I don't know. Kyle Larson did look pretty good at Phoenix. Well, I'll go with, I got to go with my gut here. William Byron has not won yet, and he needs a win in these first 5 races. I'm going to go with William Byron.
All right,
Maybe
that was good.
more wishful thinking than anything else.
Well,
see.
And I know some fans might not want to see it go back to one driver, but reading that stat of Tyler Reddick could become the only driver besides Bill Elliott to win 4 of the first 5 races. Wouldn't that be amazing to be paired up with Bill Elliott?
Yeah. His average finish isn't that great there, but he is on a roll, and I think he could do it. I wouldn't mind picking Tyler Reddick either.
Well, you and Taz will have a chance to go over some more fantasy thoughts come Friday, so we'll see if you change your mind by Friday.
I just might do that. Okay. Let's take a look at this week's watch list. On Monday, we did do our Hot Topic Sound Off program where we talk about all the hottest topics from the weekend of racing. And that always starts on Mondays at 8:15 p.m. Central Time. We did not have an interview this week, which is unusual, but we hope to be back with an interview next week. Earlier tonight is Race Chat Live, 6 p.m. Central Time on Wednesdays, where CJ, Taz, and Chris Crichton all talk about the midweek storylines that are hot topics. And then we've got our previews for the upcoming weekend. Only 2 races this weekend out at Las Vegas between the NASCAR O'Reilly Series and the NASCAR Cup Series. So definitely looking forward to those 2 races this weekend. And then we're back. Oh, Friday, we will give you the fantasy report with Taz Taylor, where we help you with your fantasy picks for the upcoming weekend of racing. And that's just for the Cup Series. Jay?
Yeah, I just had a thought. We're talking Las Vegas. How about a pick of unexpected that would break the bank at Las Vegas? And I'll throw mine out there right off the bat. Carson Hocevar.
Oh, Nelly, that would break the bank. And, if we're going for break the bank, I'll say, what would you say if Justin Allgaier went to Victory Lane?
That was kind of my second thought, was him getting a win in a fill-in role. That was kind of my second thought, but I think Hocevar could do it. He's shown speed this year. But to see him get it at a 1.5 miles this early in the season, I think like I said, I think that'd be a break the bank bet at Las Vegas.
Well, we know Justin Allgaier is really good on those 1.5 mile tracks in the O'Reilly Series. Can he do it in this next gen car? That's going to be what I'm going to be watching for this weekend.
I view him as a very solid top 20 finish. Again, if the team, I know we've kind of looked at that of the 48 of whether it was something with Alex Bowman and how long he had been battling some things. But I think we kind of saw though too, that team is lacking a little bit. We'll see what Justin Allgaier does in the car.
That's a really good point. It's a kind of wishful thinking on my part, I guess. An interesting thought all the same.
I just thought, like I said, that kind of came to me of it is Las Vegas, so make that wild bet and maybe you get lucky.
The long shot.
There you go.
Okay, so as we wrap up the show here tonight, Las Vegas always delivers on speed, strategy, and just enough chaos to shake up the standings. So the 1.5 miles of Las Vegas Motor Speedway is one of the best indicators of who's truly ready to contend this season in the O'Reilly Series. Now it's time to see which teams will cash in which ones will leave the desert empty-handed. So be sure to subscribe to the notification bell and join us after the race as we break down everything that happens in Las Vegas. You hear the phrase, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. We're going to share whatever happens in Vegas. Until then, enjoy the race weekend. And remember, at Fan4 Racing Radio, we celebrate the past, the present, and the future of NASCAR. So take care, everybody. We'll see you. I'll see you Friday in the
I was going to say, I'll see you on the other side of the weekend.